how I met my husband in first year in the university. It's a very funny but beautiful story, and I can't wait to share it. So I posted some pictures of me and my husband when we met in the university, when we were younger, our younger days, and some of my friends were like, really, can you share more about it, like story like kind of way? I got into year one and I was in school just living my life. First of all, I didn't go into year one. It was in the school back in Nigeria. It was actually in Ebonyi State University. So I had gone as a pre-degree student, okay? So I was supposed to pass my pre-degree to actually enter year one proper. But the thing is, if you don't pass pre-degree, then you'll be sent back home. You're not going to go into year one. So I was determined to pass my pre-degree, okay? I was focused. I was really, very I was that kind of girl who really, like, if you really want something, you have to go for it. So I really focused and made sure to read and concentrate, and then passed my pre-degree. At this time, some of the people who came with us for pre-degree, some of them didn't pass and they had to go back home. So that's why, you see, it's important for you to read. Now, let's fast forward to me passing my pre-degree, finishing my clearance, and then going into year one. Now, while I was in pre-degree, a lot of guys came around. Now, but when they came around, I always had one thing for them. I'm not dating. I'm here for pre-degree. I'm here to concentrate. I am here to pass, to get into the university. Now, the pre-degree is done and I'm in year one right now. Now we started going to school and everything was going on smoothly. So on our matriculation day, this is where the whole story began actually. On our matriculation day, we went to school. We finished matric. My parents didn't come because we lived all the way in Delta State and I was schooling in Ebonyi State. So my elder brother, who was schooling in Esut, actually came for me, at least to be present for me. So we finished our matric that day and then he left and went home. When he left, we came back home. And all of a sudden I started feeling a bit feverish, okay? I started feeling a bit feverish. I went into my room and then I laid down. Good thing in my hostel I lived alone. Yeah, it was not the school kind of hostel. These were hostels built around the school vicinities, so you have to rent one if you want to be alone. If you don't want to be alone, then you can share with a person. But for me, I loved to live alone because I don't hear way already for pre-degree with the one I shared with you. I decided not to do it. So fast forward back to the matric day. I was not feeling fine, so I was like, by this time I had made friends. Some friends I made from pre-degree, we all passed and we all went to year one. So both of them, Obi and Uche. And then when we moved to the hostel, I found another person who was from my hometown, and we kind of became very close. I was like very inseparable with these three girls, okay? Obi, Uche, and Neki. Yes, Neki was in second year. She was from my village, Ibuzo, in Delta State, okay? And Obi and Uche, they were from the east, but they were same year one and were so close. They got to me, knocked on my door, and asked me if I wasn't going for the party or the show for tonight. And I was like, which party? Which show? They were like, there is a show tonight. The school is organizing show. And that show was called Star Treks, okay? That show was called Star Treks. Two-Face Idibia was coming, all these olden days artists that we used to have. So my friends approached me asking if I wasn't going for the show for tonight, okay? And then I was like, no, I don't think I'm going to go for the show because I'm not feeling fine. I'm running temperature, I have a bit of fever, so I don't think it won't be fun for me because I'm not feeling fine. And they were like, you have to go, Mimi, you have to go. I'm like, no, I cannot, because honestly, I'm feeling so tired from the matric, and two, I cannot manage. Look, touch me. I was actually burning up. So they said to me, girl, we've heard a lot of terrible things happening to people if they don't leave the hostel, especially a night like this where a lot of people will be out of the hostel and most of them will be at the show. So a lot of, things could go wrong. And system people, system men could fall into the hostel and whoever they meet could be in trouble. And then I was like, oh my God, are you serious? And they said, let me tell you, not only would they fall in, they're going to take your belongings and they might even end up entering into your Jerusalem by force. And I was like, what? As at this time, I didn't even want to hear about it. I was like, okay, if this is the case, then I'm going to the show. So they said, good. They were so happy that I was going for the show. We started preparing from about 8 p.m. So we got ready and then we went to the bus stop where to get the bus to move us from Isheke to Presco, okay? Because we were living at Isheke. We have 3 campuses actually. There's CAS, there's Presco, and there's Isheke. So we had to move from our own campus to the next campus where this is happening, and that was in Presco. So we took a bus that took us to Presco. Oh my God, it was so hard to get a bus that night. It was as if the whole student of EBSU were gathered at the bus station. Everybody wanted to go to the show. You could imagine if someone stayed back in the hostel. As in, you literally drop a pin and the whole world will hear. Honestly, like nobody there. So I was like, God, thank you. I decided to go. How would I have stayed back in that hostel and be alive that night? So we went to this party, and when we got to the party, that was where the whole gist started. Now we got to the party, and being that I was so down, I was so low on energy, I was sick, I was not there for the party per se. I was there to take myself off home. Like, I was there to leave the room so that I don't get into any trouble. I wasn't there to have fun. I just really wanted to just cool off. And this is a show. They had few seats, and the few seats they had, the seats were in front, and we came late, like we are at the back, so there was nowhere to sit. So we started looking around. I was so tired. At this point, I really wanted to sit down, but there was nowhere for me to sit down. So what I did was looking around to see if I could see a very good Samaritan who will give me his or her chair just for a while. And then we were just looking around, and then we saw a fence, and we saw people sitting on the fence, okay? So when we got there, we were just passing by when someone whispered one of my friends' name, okay? Now remember, we were 4 together. I told you we had these 3 people, one whom I call my sister, and the 2 that I call my friends, okay? My sister actually taking care of me because she was a year older than me in school, and my friends were together. So this guy whispered one of their names, Obi and Uche. So when they stopped, they looked and they saw him. They screamed and they shouted and they started, talking. They were like, oh my God, this video is getting too long now. Let me just, stop it here and continue in the next one. All right.